We wrap up today's triple header with two feisty teams in the middle of the standings, slugging it out at the PCV Social Civic and Cultural Center in Bacara, Ilocos Norte. This is One Sports exclusive coverage of the Open Conference of the country's first and only professional volleyball league, the premier volleyball league on One Sports and One Sports Plus. And we've saved the best for last, ladies and gentlemen. It is the Cignal HD Spikers taking on the Balipure Water Defenders in your third game this Sunday. Hi everybody, thank you for joining us. My name is Eric Tipan alongside Neil Flores, and this has got to be a good one, Neil, especially as both teams are close in the standings and definitely will want to get away from each other in terms of the win-loss situation they have.
And this match might just be the cherry on top of our Sunday night as Balipure tries to ride the wave of momentum that they have against the formidable Cignal HD Spikers. Looking at the team standings, Creamline is still has the best standing with a 4-0 record, followed by Chocomucho, Cherry Tigo, and Petrogas. Now, for our two competing teams in our match today, both are tied with one win each, but the difference is that Cignal has one more loss in their scorecard. When all the teams have played at least 5 games each, that's the time we'll get a better picture of the potential Final Four.
And that second loss of the Cignal HD Spikers came in the hands of the Petrogas Angels just a few days ago. A painful 3-set loss for the HD Spikers.
Yes, it was a disappointing game for Cignal, especially when they managed to take down preseason favorites in Santa Lucia. They had a lot of problems with their serve receivers. That was evident in their match. And Petrogas also outblocked Cignal, tallying 8 blocks to Cignal's 2. But if you look at the scores, it wasn't really a blowout, 22, 18, 21. But the major contributor to their loss was the 24 errors they gave up to Petrogas.
That's right, that's got to hurt, and then they've got to control the ball better and be more careful. On the other hand, let's take a look at some of the main contributors in terms of scoring. Estranero with 3 points, 15 excellent sets, but May Luna led the way, the only player in double digits for the Cignal HD Spikers.
And it's amazing to see Luna make the most out of her first consistent starting role, because in her previous years, she used to come off the bench and serve as a spark plug for her team. And she was only the HD Spiker to score in double digits and tally excellent receptions in the stat sheet.
Take a look at the numbers of May Luna, 15 points off 12 attacks and 3 aces. She also put in 9 good receptions for her team. Unfortunately, that obviously was a loss against Petrogas. And earlier today, our Tinsay spoke to May Luna. We'll listen in.
May kita namin yung performance nyo sa conference. It's been a tough and wild ride. Lumalaban kayo hanggang sa dulo. Kitang-kita namin ng fans. What are the key things that Coach Shaq points out to the team that you guys need to improve?
Well, first of all, yung parati niya talagang sinasabi namin is to enjoy the game. Kasi yun naman talaga yung pinunta namin dito eh. First, mag-enjoy sa game. And second, kung ano yung pinag-aralan namin, yun yung gagawin namin sa loob ng court. Kung ano yung tinitraining namin, yun yung ginagawa namin. And at the same time, huwag talaga tanggalin sa sarili namin yung mag-enjoy. Kasi parang dun nagsisimula lahat eh. Pag nag-enjoy ka, parang yung points, dadaloy lang yun eh. Parang yun lang yung result sa pagiging enjoy mo sa loob ng court. Pili ko yun yung key talaga, is to enjoy the game.
Cignal seems to be relying on you a lot for your scoring. How excited are you sa responsibilidad mo to contribute to your team given your playing time dahil napakalakas mong player and contender?
Well, actually, parang naging inspired ako kasi like binigyan ako ng responsibility or hindi naman talaga yung tipong kailangan ganito ka, kailangan ganito yung points mo, hindi naman eh. Pero parang kung paano ka mag-contribute as a team kahit na wala ka sa loob naglalaro. Yung parang character mo ba na makakatulong ako sa team sa kahit anong paraan. Kahit hindi naman sa score, pero to motivate my teammates or parang magbigay lang ako ng mga clues na pwede mo ilagay dito yung ball. Siguro ganon. Tsaka no pressure naman kasi lahat kami nagtatrabaho as a team. Wala namang ako lang, si Ate Bodel lang, si Ate Marcia lang, wala. Kasi yung team namin, nag-rely siya sa lahat, hindi lang sa isang person lang. Yun lang.
There you have it, May Luna of the Cignal HD Spikers.
Thank you, Ai and May Luna, looking to enjoy the game a little further today, and hopefully that translates into a W for them. In the meantime, speaking of enjoying, this team enjoyed their last game. It may have been a hard-fought 5-setter, but they came out with the win against one of the top seeds in the tournament in Cherry Tigo Crossovers.
So far, this is probably one of the biggest upsets because we know that Balipure is a young squad, but they showed that they are capable to compete in a league full of pros.
Take a look at some of the highlights of that matchup. Terrific gameplay by the Water Defenders as we take a look at the breakdown by sets of that win.
Early on, they exchanged sets, but the turning point was in that fourth frame. Actually, Balipure was down 17-21 when Cherry Tigo decided to field in their second stringers. And Balipure capitalized and snatched that set, and they again brought that momentum coming into the fifth and scored that big win against the Santiago sisters.
And so many players contributed. 3 players in double digits for the Water Defenders in that win versus Cherry Tigo. But we gotta put the spotlight on Bern Flora and her 16 points, 21 digs, and 17 receptions in that game.
Grace Bombita would always be in the top scoring department for Balipure, but Bern Flora provided a triple-double performance built on 14 attacks, 21 digs, 17 excellent receptions. Dagdagan pa natin ang 2 service aces for an all-around game-winning performance for the Water Defenders.
But definitely honorable mention for, you mentioned, Grace Bombita with 24 points and Shirley Salamagos with 10 points. Those 3 players, including Bern Flora, of course, with double digits, helping the team win against Cherry. And we had an interview earlier, Ai Tinsay, with Bern Flora. We'll check in with that.
Bern, may tanong ako sa'yo. Coming from a big upset against the Cherry Tigo Crossovers, how much has the mood changed within the team? Nakita namin na lumaban kayo. Kamusta kayo after the game and now for this next game?
Yung mindset po namin after game is huwag kaming magre-relax. And second game pa lang kasi namin yon. Pero sobrang saya kasi nanalo kami against Cherry Tigo. Step na yon para magpatuloy lang kami sa mga ginagawa naming maganda. And para sa next game, yung preparation namin is mag-enjoy pa kami lalo sa game and magtulong-tulong lang kami sa bawat isa.
You're getting a big opportunity as one of the starters of the team. How do you feel na ang laki ng responsibilidad mo and you are now one of the leaders on the court?
Yung responsibility, tinatanggap ko siya ng buong buo kasi ito na po yung opportunity ko para malabas po yung laro ko. And alam ko namang nandyan yung mga teammate ko para supportahan po ako.
Ayun. There you have it, Bern Flora of the Balipure Water Defenders.
And now our national referees for this match. First referee, Mark Santos. Second referee is Rene Gaspilio. And now let's meet the starters. First, for the Cignal HD Spikers. Outside spiker from Central Philippines University, number 2, Fiona Cepalios. Center from the University of the Philippines, number 7, Ayel Estranjero. Opposite hitter from San Beda University, number 9, Janine Marciano. Middle blocker from the National University, number 11, Roslyn Doria. Middle blocker from the College of St. Benil, number 17, Rania Musa. And the outside spiker from the Far Eastern University, number 13, team captain, Rachel Ann Duckis. Starting libero from the University of Perpetual Health, number 3, Jet Yonela. And the head coach for Cignal is Shaq De Los Santos. And now the starters for the Balipure Water Defenders. Outside spiker from Adamson University, number 3, Burn Flora. Middle blocker from the Far Eastern University, number 4, Jen Kasugod. Opposite hitter from De La Salle University, number 9, Gara Baroga. Center from the University of Santo Tomas, number 11, team captain, Alina Vicar. Middle blocker from Arellano University, number 13, Shirley Salamagos. And the outside hitter from the University of Nueva Cáceres, number 23, Grace Bombita. Starting libero from Letra, number 6.
A little shakeup in the lineup of Coach Shaq De Los Santos as Rania Musa is in the starting lineup along with Viola Ceballos for the Cignal HD Spikers. In the meantime, Coach John Abella hasn't really shaken up his lineup as you see familiar names, including Burn Flora, bringing in her 16 points in this game, and Gris Bombita with her 24 points. Salamagos is also in the lineup. She had 10 points in their last game.
For this ball game, I'm looking forward to the matchups of our wing spikers because I think that they are evenly matched. You have Janine Marciano, May Luna, and Fiola Ceballos going up against the duo of Grace Bombita and Burn Flora of the Water Defenders.
Well, the first point of the Water Defenders come off an error, a service error by Ayel Estrañero. And we talked about these unforced errors. You mentioned it, Neil. 24 unforced errors against Petrogas. And right off the bat, they start with another.
And that's just too much for a 3-set game, committing 24 errors. Practically, you gave out one whole set to your opponent.
Meantime, Cignal gets block point off Grace Bombita. Here's Fiola Ceballos. Came off the bench in that loss against Petrogas. A tip by Kasugod. Takis is blocked. Back set by Estrañero to Marciano. Good coverage by the HD Spikers. That goes off the tape of the net. Free ball from Baroga. Estrañero to the middle, and Doria will score.
Doria coming off a 9-point performance along with Rachel Andakis in that previous loss. And they're looking for more production, especially with Rachel Andakis.
Dakis has had a slow start, so to speak. 8 points in the previous game, 9 points in their last game. Kasugo just barely touched that ball. Estrañero back to Dakis. They want to get Dakis hot, and she nails one in the back.
It's important to establish an early lead against the Balipure Water Defenders. We all know that that was a huge win against Cherry Tigo, and for sure the momentum is still on their side.
And that confidence pretty high for Balipure right now. What a dig there for Hernandez.
Grace Bombita with that sharp cross-court hit. In the off-season, as far as I know, there were 3 teams actually courting her, but she landed a deal with Balipure and looks like she feels at home and comfortable with her teammates.
So far, so good. The start of the conference for Grace Bombita. Middle attack, good block by Kasugod on Doria. Vicar sets up Kasugod for the point.
Balipure is also a mix of veterans and youngsters, with Alina Vicar calling the shots, orchestrating the offense, trying to distribute the ball as much as she can to all of her attackers.
And Alina Vicar has improved as well throughout the years, playing for Coach Kung Fu Reyes in UST. She has really blossomed into an excellent setter. There's a setup again for Kasugod. A dig by Dakis, a push by Marciano, and she scores.
Janine Marciano will also try to bounce back from a 4-point production in that loss against Petrogas. For the first few outings, she was the top scorer, but in that game, medyo tumahimik si Janine Marciano.
She was active. I mean, offensively, it did seem like she had more than 4, so I was kind of surprised actually. She only had limited numbers in that game against Petrogas, but she was very active offensively. Had a lot of touches from Estranero.
And most probably, nabantayan din talaga siya ng Petrogas. That may be part of their planning phase in stopping Janine Marciano's production. Fortunately, May Luna gave her all in that double-digit performance.
Close start to set number 1 here. 4-all. Former FEU Lady Tamarao, Jen Kasugod. One of the oldest members of this team at 30. Estranero back to Marciano. They also want to get her going. Marciano looking for a check ball, and she gets it. Bit of a late call from first referee Mark Santos, but he was waiting for confirmation from the second referee, Rene Gaspillo.
And aside from the second referee, you have 4 linesmen if you are not sure if that ball touched the hands of the blockers.
Good receive from Flora. Takis, cross court, through the arms of Hernandez. Surprising though that Coach John Abella goes with Carly Hernandez as his starting libero when Julia Angeles, 23 excellent digs in that 5-set win against Cherry Tigo. You switched it around.
I feel that since we already have 2 liberos, one can be the receiving type of libero, one can be the digging, but whoever plays better can actually be the mainstay libero for Balipure.
Baroga with an attack error. Cignal with a little bit of a cushion here. 7 serving 4. There's Hernandez. Former Lady Tamarao as well, along with Kasugod. Good serve right there. And the HD Spikers have doubled the output of the Water Defenders and send us to our first technical timeout. 8-4 in set number 1. Back here at the PCV Social Civic and Cultural Center in Bacara, Ilocos Norte. Magandang gabi sa inyo lahat. Eric Tipan with Neil Flores, and this is the 3rd game of our Sunday triple header. So far, Cignal looking pretty good, but there's a huge answer from Shirley Salamagos of the Water Defenders.
Coming off a 10-point performance, she's looking to repeat or even add on to the scoring picture para sa Balipure Water Defenders. And right now, Alina Bicar is just activating all of her attackers to keep the defense of Cignal guessing.
Baroga with a serve. Musa second guessed herself that time around, but still got the point.
That was a little bit high on the set, but she still managed to get that point.
Fan favorite, Rachel Andakis. Good serve all the way to the back. A 1-2 play by Bicar. Telegraphed. Left-handed attack. As the set was too high, Flora with the error.
Right now, the lead is at 5 points for the HD Spikers. And when we talk about expectations, Eric, I feel that there are more expectations or pressure dun sa mga veterano nating teams compared to a younger squad like Balipure. Sometimes the focus would be on showing your best or performing in your full potential to show people that you can actually compete in a star-studded league.
Kind of like show them that this is a rebuild phase, but that you're on the right track. You have the right people to build the team with.
And they're not short on talent.
Not at all. Like what we mentioned, 3 players in double digits in that win versus one of the favorites. But right now, Balipure is in disarray offensively and defensively.
This is a totally different energy that we're seeing from Balipure. You expect them to go out guns blazing simula pa lang ng
Yeah.
first set, especially after that big win against Cherry Pigo. But right now, they look a little bit tentative, too relaxed, I must say. Kailangan ng konting hustle, especially defensively against a lethal Cignal squad.
That's right. Meanwhile, these HD Spikers looking very confident despite coming off a 3-set loss against Petrogas. Bombita with a push. Estrañero back set. Ooh, Musa and Dakis almost collided there. There's an attack by Bombita and she scores.
Miscommunication on the side of Cignal. Rachel Andax was supposed to go up for that back row hit, but Rania Musa got in the way. Kaya naman na-maximize ng Balipure yung scramble ng depensa ng Cignal.
Out of Itbayat Patanes, one of those locations that was hit by Typhoon Fabian over the entire week. Doria with the connection and the point.
Cignal is trying to maintain that 5-point lead. And maganda doon, all of the attackers currently medyo mainit na. They are getting their touches, they're getting the groove of hitting the defense of Balipure.
But if you're the water defenders, right now, they're keeping it close. I mean, the lead is 6 now, but it's still within striking distance. And this early, Coach Abella calls a timeout. He doesn't want to get to allow things to get any worse.
That was assistant coach Clarence Esteban asking their players to communicate more, to control the pace of the game.
Wait, that's what's been lacking. I mean, we've seen it offensively and defensively. Plenty of lapses on the side of Balipure here in set number 1. Good dig by Hernandez. That attack by Kasugod is wide. And things just not falling the way they should for Balipure.
Now substitution for the Balipure Purest Water defenders. Espiritu will see her first action here in the game.
Sati Espiritu, very active offensively as well for Balipure in that match versus Cherry. Everything go in the way of Cignal right now as Estrañero gets a service ace and Cignal pulling away here in set number 1.
Aside from being a really, really good setter, advantage din ng Cignal that Ayel Estrañero was a former libero.
Yep.
It's like having 2 liberos on your squad, and she's also a good server.
Bombita goes above the blockers this time. Estrañero back set. Marciano through the block. Yes! Anything and everything going through offensively for the Cignal HD Spikers as they put up a 9-point advantage here in set number 1 against Balipure. Right now, Coach Shaq De Los Santos must be happy. He's seeing his team perform cohesively with a 9-point advantage against Balipure in set number 1. How much of this, Neil, is Cignal playing better, and how much of this is Balipure struggling?
Looking at the numbers, Cignal already registered 3 service aces in this first set. Let's make that 4. They've been serving excellently. They've been attacking the loopholes in the blocking of Balipure. Kaya naman hindi tayo nagulat that they're up by 10.
But is it Cignal playing better or Balipure struggling? That's why the score is like this, a 10-point advantage for the HD Spikers.
I would say that Cignal is definitely playing better
Just-
compared to Balipure. Dagdagan na lang siguro natin ng bonus points from the unforced errors of
Unforced
Balipure.
And off the antenna, Ceballos will get her first point of the match, and it's an 11-point advantage for Cignal over Balipure in set number 1.
Cignal just exerting their dominance as a veteran team. This is the first time that they'll be facing in franchise history, and they're looking good. But that's a rotational error. I think there was an overlap between Rachel Andakis and Jack Tronella.
So a break here, a tiny little break for Balipure. Let's see if they can take advantage and get a run. Good dig for Angeles. Setting error on Estranero.
Even though they're down by 9 points, they're starting to warm up. They're starting to celebrate every single point. And Angeles is back on the court.
Yep.
She had a 62% efficiency in digging. Probably one of the underrated liberos that we have here in the PVL.
That's true. That from Ceballos goes wide. So 3 straight points for Balipure. And they were within 8. And they continue this run. That's a big question on the mind of fans watching us on Cignal. Also on One Sports and One Sports Plus. Estranero, one-handed set. A little too low for Doria. 4 straight points rattled off by the Water defenders.
Most of the points coming off errors this time naman para sa Cignal HD. They just need one good stop to cut that momentum, because there is no lead na safe. They were down by 4 points in that 4th set, in that 5th set against Cherry Tigo, but they still managed to carve out a 5-set win.
Angeles to Baroga. Baroga picks up the block against her. Bombita fires one in, and Bombita connects 5 straight points for Balipure.
And when you give the window of opportunity na mabuhay itong Balipure Water defenders, Grace Bombita will always be on cue to rack up more points.
And right on cue as well, a timeout here by Coach Shaq De Los Santos. He wants to talk things over. We'll try to listen in. Just words of encouragement from Coach Shaq De Los Santos. Nothing specific, no play drawn up. He just wants to get for the girls to gather their wits about them and maybe put a stop to the momentum of Balipure.
If you backtrack a couple of points, it all started with that simple rotational error.
Yep.
That was the time that they committed different lapses on their attacks and defense, but Balipure will give a bonus point to the HD Spikers off that service error.
Turns out they didn't need a stop anyway, Neil. Ceballos serves. 7-point advantage for Cignal. Back row attack for Flora. Estranero. Marciano. Angeles will set it up for Baroga, who gets a check ball.
This is what you want to see for the Purest Water defenders. Yes, you're down by 6 points. But when everybody gets their own touches dyan sa mga bola sa atake, they gain confidence. And yun yung pinaka-importante when we enter the second set.
Good serve from Bombita. Dakis will have to set it up underhand. Free ball for Balipure. Let's see what they do. Bicar, she goes to Flora with a push. And it lands on the line. Burn Flora. What a play.
That wasn't the set that she usually hits.
Yep.
But yun yung sign ng isang magaling na attacker. You adjust to whatever set is given to you. And they will be awarded with a point.
5-point deficit. Another good serve. Another easy point. And now, Balipure is within 4. 15-19 in set number 1.
This is a more manageable lead to overcome compared to that 10-point deficit a while ago.
Went as high as 11.
And if you can score more off the service line, mas didikit pa yung score. But as I say that, they give away one more point to the HD Spikers.
Although this looks like a doable margin. Cignal needs 5 to win. Balipure needs 5 to tie. But they must get stops here. Talking about Balipure, if you're Cignal though, they need offense. They need it right now.
They can't afford to just exchange points.
Yep.
They need
And
consecutive points.
That's what they're doing. Give away one. They got one, but they gave away one. So still a 4-point game. Balipure much closer to them. Then Cignal is closer to the end of the set. So that should inspire confidence among these water defenders. 16 serving 20. Good serve by Sati Espiritu. Set up. And it doesn't go across the net. Salamagos struggling early today.
Vicar is asking her to approach better so that she can hit those quick hits. But at least you have a full front line for the purest water defenders. You have Flora on the outside, and then you also have Gaira Baroga on the opposite. You have a lot of options to get your offense going.
Unforced errors, both teams keeping it low right now. +1 for Cignal. Oh, what a block there by Rania Musa. Final timeout for Coach John Abella. They're down 22-16.
Ganda ng habol natin, tuloy-tuloy natin ha. Ingay natin sa gagawin. Hindi pa tapos. Dito nga kaya yan. Kapit-kapit. Yes, coach.
Well, let's see if that timeout by Coach Abella will bear fruit. And they can mount one final run here.
That was actually a good rebound. Flora didn't force the issue, but there were no defenders to back her up. But you like the mindset of Balipure. If you heard that timeout, sabi na, kapit lang.
So far, so good. You get a stop, and they earn a point. Balipure within 5 here. Baroga steps out. Lai Bendong will check in. Former UE Lady Red Warrior.
This is probably a defensive substitution, as Rosel Baleton is one of the tallest on the floor right now.
Flora. And Baliton will score.
Instant production for the double substitution of Balipure. Now they're down by 4 points only.
Baliton looking pumped up after that point. Let's see if that is contagious and helps the entire team. There's a net violation. I think it's on Musa. Yep.
Masyadong nanggigil si Musa
Yep.
on that running hit.
She looked very eager. She saw the net wide open and went for it.
And she was only against Bern Flora.
Yeah.
Hindi pa perfect yung timing.
So it's a good 3-point deficit here for Balipure. And they get a block on Takis too. So 2-point ball game down the stretch.
Balipure knew that they were going to that open hit, but Baleton and Salamagos was just ready for Rachel Andakis that time.
Coach Shaq De Los Santos, and you also heard Rachel Andaki saying, let's go, let's go. Team captain really trying to pump up and motivate her team. Their 11-point lead is practically gone now. They're only holding on to a slim 2-point advantage.
Cardiente will check in.
Hello?
Abriam will
Yeah.
also check in.
So 2 players coming in for the HD Spikers here. Some fresh legs for Coach Shaq. Bendong has been serving pretty well off the bench. Very impressive stuff for her. Good dig from Angeles. Here comes Bern Flora. That's wide.
She's been having a hard time to the sets being given to her. Medyo matataas based on my perspective. If you can lower that a little bit para ma-perfect ni Bern Flora yung timing, mas mataas yung chances to get a point.
That's what Coach Shaq De Los Santos asked for. Isa lang, and they gave him the 1 point. Here comes Baliton. Picked up by Dakis. Underhand set. Here comes Abriam. Angeles with a good save. Free ball that goes awry for Cignal.
I would say that was a careless mistake on the side of the HD Spikers. Practically a free ball. It was your chance to get the 24th point.
So Balipure with a golden opportunity to get closer here. A beautiful tip by Musa, clips the line, and it is 3 set points for the HD Spikers, 24-21 against the Water Defenders.
That was a simple play but effective. Power tip from Rania Musa.
Musa, part of the starting lineup today. Good contribution from her so far. Oh, and she gets a service ace to close it out as well.
Back-to-back points for Rania Musa. They stop the momentum of Balipure Water Defenders and get this first set.
It was neck and neck in the beginning before Cignal put up an 11-point advantage. And then Water Defenders mounted a run, made it close down the stretch, but Rania Musa with a huge service ace to finish it off and get the win for Cignal, 25-21 against Balipure. Welcome back to the PCV Social Civic and Cultural Center in Bacara, Ilocos Norte, as we give you the highlights of set number 1 between Cignal and Balipure.
It was a dominant start for the Cignal HD Spikers. They were firing from all angles. Everybody was contributing in the attack department. But when they committed that rotational error, that was the time Balipure tried to mount a comeback, but it just wasn't enough to close it out.
Some points from Kasugod as Alina Bicar tried to activate her middles, but there were plenty of reception errors and unforced errors overall for Balipure. It really put them behind against Cignal, who, like what you mentioned, Neil, played really excellent volleyball. I mean, great defense, great offense as well. They were able to get all their key players involved in attacks in set number 1.
Yes, the attack department, pantay lang sila with 12 points apiece, as well as the blocking. But the 5 service aces of Cignal proved to be the main difference as they escaped that first set with a 25-21 score.
So time to bounce back for Balipure as we get to start set number 2. What are the keys for Balipure here, Neil, in order for them to have a better start compared to set number 1?
For Balipure, I'm looking for a more consistent passing in service reception dahil 5 service aces nga yung binigay nila sa Cignal HD. And I'm looking for a better connection of the setters papunta dito kay Bern Flora.
Okay. Yeah. Flora struggled to approach the ball a couple of times at least and hasn't gotten her rhythm here in the match so far. Alina Bicar serving.
Right now, Flora has 2 points under her name. Bombita has 5. And on the other hand, for Cignal, Marciano and Musa has 4 apiece.
Service error for Bicar as Balipure continues to struggle and unable to take care of the ball. Estrañero with a good serve. Underhand set from Bicar. Here comes Baroga. There's a tip from Kasugod. Oh, but she touched the net.
They're trying to contest that call. But it was very clear that she touched the tip of the net. If you're Balipure, you know that you can keep up with Cignal's offense. You know that you can keep up in the blocking department. But you cannot play catch-up against a veteran team. As early as now, you try your best to score as many points as you can, especially off the service line.
Double contact called against Balipure. And again, very early, these errors creeping into the game of the water defenders, Neil.
Sayang, no? Kasi there are moments that they give out easy points to Cignal HD. And again, you're talking about a veteran team that has more exposure in these types of games.
Better back set there from Bicar to Bombita. Ball is still alive. Great attack though. Ceballos has been awesome as part of the starting lineup today for Coach Shaq.
And we haven't even seen May Luna come into this ball game.
Actually. Good start for the HD Spikers. And I like what the performance so far of Ceballos and Musa showing Coach Shaq they deserve, you know, this opportunity they were given to be part of the starting lineup.
And we were surprised that they were actually the starters for this game. But as we say that, Ceballos again challenging the double block of Balipure, punching it through 2 blockers.
Ceballos out of the Central Philippine University, and her life hashtag is YOLO.
Wow.
For the Gen Xers and for the mature audience, it means you only live once.
Yeah, that's correct.
There's Bombita with a free ball. Jack Jonella with a save. A tip. A good rally here. The back set, Marciano is blocked. And she is, that's a score for Balipure. Block point.
This time, Balipure registers their first block point of the set. And if you notice, nagpalit ng posisyon. Bombita is all the way at that opposite side of the court, and Gaira Baroga is here occupying the open.
2 serving 5. Balipure still looking to get their rhythm here. And again, Ceballos. Oh, sorry, it's Marciano. Marciano with the tip.
You could have gotten that point. Siguro one more sidestep. Nakuha sana yun ni Jen Kasugod.
Here is Ceballos. Better reception, combination play. Baroga, yes.
Credit half that point to that perfect reception dito sa side ng Balipure. And when you have perfect reception, it's easier for Alina Bicar to set up combination plays. In a pro league, you can't proceed with just basic plays all throughout. You have to shuffle your players kahit papano.
That's an over-receive and an easy put away for Salamagos as Balipure with a 2-point run here.
I'm sure na-scout din ng Balipure itong Cignal in their previous game wherein their opponent exposed their lapses in the service reception area. That's why yun yung sinasabi kong emphasis na kailangan. Get as many points as you can from that service line to challenge the defenders of Cignal.
Double contact. Yeah, it was a bit of a late call, but it should have been called at the joust because there was no player from Cignal who touched the ball. 7-4. Doria coming off a 9-point performance. Flora fires one in. Terrific dig by Ceballos. Here comes Marciano with a free ball. Baroga above the blockers. Doria, that's, yeah. It was clear. She looked uncomfortable just backing up to the ball.
And they're not known for setting the ball overhead, talking about the middle blockers. Kadalasan underhand nila yung ipapasa.
Yeah.
That's the least skill na pinapractice.
And that same error several times were called against Doria in their loss against Petrogas. So she seemed tentative right away. And there's a service ace from Baroga as Balipure makes it a 1-point game now after being down by as many as 4 points. Again, Balipure playing catch-up. Let's see if they can go all the way this time and grab the lead.
4 points already for Gaira Baroga. 3 attacks and 1 service ace.
Good reception. Estranero goes to Dakis. Baroga with the up. Bicar sets it for Flora. Yes! And they tie the game. Balipure's comeback is complete. 7-all versus Cignal in set number 2.
Parang diesel itong Balipure water defenders. They start out slow, but when they get their rhythm, the points start pouring in.
Good serve. Over received by Janela. A rare error from the veteran Libero. But miscue there on part of Salamagos as she's unhappy, obviously. Gave away what should have been an easy point. 8-7. Cignal versus Balipure in set number 2.
Shirley Salamagos, middle blocker of the Balipure Water Defenders with 10 points last game, said that as a veteran in this field, she has to fulfill her role model duties to her younger teammates in order to solidify their gameplay in the court. Given that they have the chance to enter the semifinals, and I quote, kailangan kong i-improve yung mga lapses ko para mapatunayan ko na kaya ko at kaya naming lumaban sa kahit anong team. Her strength, focus, and vigor is what keeps her scoring consistently with the aid of Coach Romel Abella. At first, she felt how heavy and sore their bodies were coming back after almost 2 years, and now they are confident as they slowly but gracefully condition themselves for the remaining weeks of the PVL. Having to experience training in other leagues, even internationally, and now in the Philippine Pro League, just motivates her like the rest of our superstars to do what their hearts enjoy the most, which is to play volleyball. Let's get back to the game here in Baccara with the Cignal HD Spikers and the Balipure Water Defenders.
Oh, thank you, Ai. She was talking about Salamagos. Unfortunately, Salamagos right now can't get her game going. 2 straight errors for Salamagos. And Cignal looking to take advantage here like they did in set number 1. Another error here after the technical timeout. Not a good start for Balipure.
I would have to agree with Ai when she mentioned yung body sores nga ng mga players natin. Since we compressed the games into 6 days a week, recovery will play a vital role in your conditioning.
Just outside for Marciano. They only have, well, on their off days they train. I think their only off day, I mean really RD, the rest day is Saturday when they take their tests as well, because the PVL monitors the health and condition of these players with regards to COVID-19. So weekly they're tested as well. Here comes Bombita putting 100% on that. And they get it over. Well, wait a minute. A little bit of a late whistle there for Mark Santos. But the correct call was made. 4 touches against Balipure that time.
Coach Shaq was very adamant during that rally. But it was pretty obvious that they committed that error.
Alina Bicar. And looking for targets after they receive. Bombita, that's way out.
She was underneath the ball. She tried to power it through. But that sails wide for Grace Bombita.
Balipure, there's been a lot of up and down for them so far in this match, and we're just midway through it. I mean, there are stretches they play so well, and there are stretches where what is going on? Bombita, oh, into the net. That was, the other one was high, this one was way low. Coach Abella obviously will talk to the girls because he doesn't like what he sees. Well, what could be one of the issues here, Neil? Just when we thought, you mentioned earlier, Balipure, like they play like their diesel engine, you know, cold and then they start getting hot. But all of a sudden, a series of errors like they've never been hot.
Right now, they have 8 unforced errors. Kung ibabawas mo yun sa score ng Cignal, parang 5 points pa lang yung pinapaghirapan talaga ng Cignal HD.
That's right. What could be you think, one of the issues that they're going through right now?
Aside from their very tentative communication and service reception, I'm still looking for that fluid connection of the setter between her hitters dahil marami na ring times na walang nakakapalo ng bola or it's too wide, too high. Hopefully they find an adjustment for that.
Bicar, 1-2 play. Jonella was right there. Marciano. Bern Flora with a dig. Here comes Kasugod. Well, so far, the Kasugod-Bicar connection has been there. But everybody else, you're right. I mean, she hasn't really connected with Bern Flora, with Salamagos. And Bombita's, her offense has been up and down.
But that was a perfect connection for Bicar and Kasugod off that quick hit. Perfect timing, perfect height. But again, they commit another service error.
But based on, when we were looking, what was it, 8-3? The service error or the unforced error situation earlier, right? It was +5 for Balipure. But they're lucky right now. They're only down by 4. Ipak is in the ball game for the first time, serving for Cignal HD. There's Bombita, finally gets one. That ought to boost her confidence in set number 2.
And that's the Grace Bombita that we know.
That's the Grace Bombita that hurt the Santiago sisters and the Cherry Tigo crossovers with, what was it, 24 points.
There was a huge gap between Doria and Estranero. Now that's back-to-back points for the Balipure Water Defenders.
So 2-point game here. Bicar serving 12-14. Good attack there by Ceballos, but that was turned back. Jonella with a free ball. Bicar to the middle. Kasugo, Jonella was right there. Ceballos sends it to Estranero, who attacks. Bombita fires one in. It goes outside, and the run continues again for Balipure as they make it a 1-point game.
3 points consecutively from Bombita. If you have a hot hand, keep on going to her.
Yep, why not?
And that is the confidence that she needs. Habang mainit, palo ng palo, don't mind the blockers. But again, another service error, this time committed by Alina Bicar.
And this is one of the reasons why they really can't get over that hump, Neil. Just when they're about to make that turn, take the corner, they throw it away.
You know, and in the pro leagues, hindi ganun kadali to rack up a lead. And if you shoot yourself on the foot with those service errors, ima-maximize talaga ng kalaban mo yun.
Marciano, Bern Flora with the up. Bicar, it straight to the net. Kasugod never even touched it. And Ceballos. Hernandez sends it to Bombita. And that's going to be a point for Balipure. Two players collide there. Hope Marciano and Dakis are okay.
That was a head collision. Pero tinawan na lang nila.
Yeah, these players are tough, man.
And after what they've been through, I mean, training for 1 year and a half
Yeah.
at home, not being sure if matutuloy ba yung conference natin.
That's right. Chance to tie for Balipure. 14-15. Broken play here for Cignal. Flora to tie. Yes!
Finally, they catch up with Cignal.
Well, second time, second deadlock in set number 2. The other one was at 7-all. Let's see if they can finally taste the lead here.
Defensively, Balipure has more excellent digs compared to Cignal, 31 against the 23 of the HD Spikers.
And Marciano scores as Cignal takes us to our second technical timeout. They're up 16-15, set number 2. Well, a much closer set so far between these two teams compared to set number 1, where at this point, Cignal had as much as an 11-point advantage. With Balipure right now, they can get a stop here, tie the game. They don't even need to do anything because it was a free point given away by Ceballos.
For any team, you want to play less sets as much as you can so that you can combat fatigue. Dahil napaka-ikli lang nung pahinga ibibigay sa inyo. Sometimes, teams don't even rest. After a game day, they would go for a conditioning training. they would watch or scout previous games of their opponent. There are a lot of factors really to be considered in this bubble setup.
Salamagos may not be scoring points offensively, but defensively, that time around, getting the block point and putting Balipure on top for the first time in set number 2, 17-16, but it's been a habit. That's what we can call it here in set number 2. They get 1 foot forward, take 2 steps back, Balipure, and we're tied at 17.
And if I'm not mistaken, I think nasa double digits na rin ang unforced errors na binigay ng Balipure dito sa HD Spikers.
Rose Doria with a serve. Underhand set for Bicar. Bern Flora attacks. Here's Dakis. And Hernandez unable to pick it up as Cignal back on top by 1, 18-17.
We're already at the tail end of the second set, so both of these teams cannot afford to miss any serve at this point.
Cignal with 1 set in the bag. That's just outside for Doria as they are not immune to these unforced errors as well.
Palitan lang sila ng service errors.
18 all, set number 2. Balipure with an advantage in block points, 2-0. Dakis with the left. There's Salamagos finally looking much better.
That was a very, very smart set from Alina Bicar. She saw Rachel and Dakis unprepared for that block as she gave that quick hit to Shirley Salamagos.
And Salamagos as well, making the right decision while in midair, finding the open spot in the defense of Cignal. Balipure up by 1. That's going to be a lift.
Or a catch and throw violation called on the water defenders.
No team really getting any sort of a flow here as they've been scoring almost exclusively via errors of the other team. There's a service reception error by Bern Flora. Cignal is back up by 1, 2019.
That's part of the preparations of every team. When you're at the service line, you lock into a certain player. Looks like they're locking in on Bern Flora para kahit papano ma-disrupt yung timing on the attack. But she says, no problem.
Yeah. Anong ma-disrupt nil? Sabi ni Bern Flora. Ties the game at 20. Cla Abriam is back in the game for Cignal.
This is the same double substitution that they had in that first set. Hopefully, quality minutes for Cignal.
Bern Flora with a good serve. Balipure in a good position late in the set. Neil, let's see if they can really take advantage.
And as we said on the top of the coverage, Bern Flora is one of the well-rounded players offensively and defensively coming out of the Adamson University program. Let's make that back-to-back service aces.
And that prompts Coach Shaq de los Santos to call a timeout.
Now, Coach Shaq just asking for one good receive from his players. They're not yet out of it. 2 points. It's a very manageable lead to overcome.
Flora looking good right now. Another good serve, but Jonella with a better receive. Cignal players very active on coverage. Bicar sets it up. Back to Bombita. Bombita Great one-handed dig there by Abriam. 1-2 play to the back, picked up. Dakis. What a rally here. Bombita. That was too wide.
He tried to go for a cross-court hit, but will it be given to Balipure? Yes, it will be given to Balipure.
Check ball, it seems. A lucky break here for Balipure as Cignal burn their last time out here. Down by 3.
Tiwala guys. Trabaho guys.
Well, the tables have been turned, Neil. This was Balipure's position in the first set. They were down by 3 late in the set. Now Cignal's turn to play catch-up.
And at this point, you get to understand the feeling of Coach Shaq because they were given a lot of opportunities to build a good lead. But right now, they're down by 3 points.
Ipak, that's wide. And no touch. And Balipure with 4 set points here. Bern Flora giving Cignal a taste of their own medicine. They've been serving to her. And she's been serving and getting points. And an attack error by Dakis. And all of a sudden, we're tied at 1-all, Neil.
And even if they committed a lot more errors compared to Cignal, the serving of Bern Flora saved them to tie this match at 1 set apiece. Check. Check. I saw.
Take a look at highlights of set number 2. Well, Ceballos and company, Neil, started off pretty good. They rattled off a 4-1 lead at the start of the set. And there was a stretch middle of set number 2 where it seemed like Balipure wasn't going to make it back. But all of a sudden, Cignal unable to take care of the ball. And this time around, the very young Balipure water defenders took advantage.
This is a perfect reminder for the Cignal HD Spikers that you cannot underestimate the comeback potential of the Balipure water defenders. They were able to do it against Cherry Tigo, and they can do it again. So you cannot give them any opportunities to come back.
Salamagos struggled early, but she found a little bit of rhythm in set number 2 as we take a look at the statistics.
Kanina nagtataka tayo kung bakit dikit yung score. It's because of the attacks of Balipure. They scored 11 against the 6 of the Cignal HD Spikers, and they also did better against the middle blockers, having 2 blocks.
We also did mention unforced errors. Water defenders still unable to control it. They are +3 over Cignal, but it's the attacks that allow them to get the advantage and keep it a close game when they needed to, and eventually down the stretch pull away. Good evening, everybody. Thank you for watching us on One Sports and One Sports Plus. Eric Tipan with Neil Flores. Set number 3 just about to get underway from the PCV Social, Civic, and Cultural Center in Bacara, Ilocos Norte. Anybody's set now, Neil, as both teams seem to have figured each other out in the first 2 sets.
At pag manalo ka ng third set, that's a huge leg up entering that fourth set.
Bombita.
Right now, the leading scorers for Cignal HD are Marciano with 7 points and Ceballos with 5. For Balipure, no surprise, Bombita with 8 and Bern Flora with 7.
Rap Aguilar is in the game for the first time and made her presence felt.
And I think I see May Luna seeing her first action in this ball game. 23 attacks rather for Balipure against the 19 of Cignal HD.
Bicar with coverage on the block against Kasugod. Bombita. Aguilar once again, this time around rejected by Kasugod.
If you're in Rap Aguilar's position, it's better to challenge Alina Bicar compared to Jen Kasugod. Balipure is also doing better defensively. 4 block points against the single one of the Cignal HD Spikers.
Dakis will make that. Marciano was blocked. Marciano tries a different path. Balipure with good coverage. Aguilar. Here's Baroga. Jack Jonella will set it up. And Marciano was blocked. And she's called for double contact.
She was clearly bothered by the double block of the Balipure water defenders. If she put a little bit more power dyan sa drop ball na yan, it could have gone over.
Good start for Balipure. They're up by 1. Estranero, underhand set for Marciano. Kasugod, ball still alive, but that goes long on the third touch from Doria.
Now Balipure starting out strong once again in this third frame.
Although they are getting some help off the service and attack errors of Cignal. Estranero. Good delivery straight to the hands of Doria, who was waiting up in the air.
You can see the game face of Doria making sure she got that point. Enough is enough for Rose Doria.
Good serve from Aguilar. Easy over from Bicar. Oh, that would have been for Doria. Instead, May Luna with the easy over on the other side. And this time around, 4 touches against Balipure, and the game is tied at 3.
This is the first time na iba yung starting lineup in a set for Coach Shaq Dos Santos, trying to find that good chemistry between his players.
There's Bombita.
Sobrang ganda nung approach ni Grace Bombita. You see the full wind-up, the extension, the power. What a steal for the water defenders.
That's true. Gonna be a free ball, but that didn't even land inbound as Aguilar sends it long, and Balipure back up by 2, 5-3 versus Cignal.
Coming off a 24 point unforced error production in that loss against Petrogas. Hindi mo pwedeng dalin ulit yon dito sa game against Balipure.
And there is Luna making her presence felt.
From being a spark plug off the bench during her college and early years in a commercial league, now providing quality minutes pagkailangan siya.
And you like the mindset of players like Luna. She was a starter, put up good numbers, had 15 points. But today, coming off the bench, doesn't matter. She just wants to help her team. Marciano connects.
This is the best or strongest front line na meron ng Cignal HD. So Estraniero has to string up a couple of points on the offense.
Five all. Balipure with an advantage in terms of excellent digs. Astoria gets an ace. And how ironic, we're talking about the digs of Balipure and they allow a ball to go down untouched.
Most of the time, libero talaga yung pinakamalaki ang sakop in our backcourt. But if a player sees that it's already going to her area, pwede rin naman niyang kunin yun.
Kunin niya
So
na.
it boils down sa pag-uusap nila.
Bicar to Kasugod, who's blocked. Hernandez with a good save. Estraniero. Tipped by Luna. Back set, Baroga. They get a break there. It was a scary situation between Baroga and Bombita right there, Neil.
Again, that was just an ad-lib on the side of Baroga. I was on the side of Cignal HD. Hindi ko nabablakin. It was clearly offset. It was obvious that Baroga was going for that drop ball. But sometimes, judgment call din yan ng mga middle blockers when they see it clearly.
Marciano finds an opening in the middle of the defense.
Marciano trying to change the pace of her attacks, although I don't think that was intentional. It was off a miss-hit, but there was a donut hole in the middle of the defense of Balipure.
Cignal up by one. A seesaw battle between these two teams in set number 3. It's a broken play, tipped in by Salamagos. Speaking of tips, Musa is blocked. Luna attacks, blocked again. Good defense at the net by the water defenders. Marciano, Salamagos with a push, yes!
An aggressive play from Shirley Salamagos. Instead of setting it to her teammate, patayin na natin.
7-all. And both teams neck and neck here in set number 3. Good serve. Janela with a better receive. Musa. Flora. Marciano with the up. They go to Luna. One-handed dig there from Bombita. Burn Flora. Good rally. Luna off speed. Angeles with a dive there. 1-2 play, and there's a touch at the net by Balipure. And Cignal inches ahead, up by 1, 8-7 over Balipure, set number 3.
Fight Cignal, tara. Have fun. Have fun.
Well, no team getting any sort of momentum so far here in set number 3, Neil, as it's been a game of, or a set of trades in terms of points. One scores, the other does, and so nobody really getting a good solid lead here.
But based on my observation in the past 2 sets, whoever serves better gets to control the game.
Let's see. So far here in set number 3, it's, well, both teams, they've had some good serves, some errors. Flora down the stretch in set number 2. She was the one who really, and she's off to a good start, Neil. I haven't even finished my sentence, and she scores an ace right away.
Right on cue. her third or fourth service ace maybe.
Another good serve. Aguilar. Wow. You see how loaded offensively Coach Shaq's team is. I mean, Aguilar still comes off the bench and she's got that kind of power. And Coach Shaq de los Santos can also switch around between May Luna, Ceballos, and so many others.
And dun mo makikita na these bench players also studied their opponents. They're very ready to serve for their squad. They're exploiting that zone 1 in that open area as Alina Bicar is the liability in terms of height dun sa blocking department.
Right. But in the meantime, how do you deal with the power of Grace Bombita? I mean, just amazing.
For sure, these blockers would prefer to get a stop block, but with so much power, talking about Grace Bombita, you just have to slow it down so that you can set up your counter-attack.
That's your only hope, is to slow it down, to soften it up. Salamagos quietly has 7 points now, but again, we talked about this. I mean, they serve well, sometimes they don't. It's been an up and down sort of a thing for both teams. And it's not just the serving. It's their offense. Sometimes they play well, sometimes they don't. We saw Balipure play great in the end of set number 2, but it was Cignal at the end of set number 1. They were solid as well. So nobody up until set number 3, Neil. I mean, we still have to figure out which team really is getting some sort of a rhythm here.
And with the disappointment of Coach Chuck de los Santos, he's looking for more aggressiveness, more consistency on the side of his players. Sabi nga niya, ayaw kong magpatalo. Hindi tayo pwede magpatalo.
And I'm sure that's on the mind of Coach Abella as well. Right now, after having a 3-point advantage, Balipure, their lead only 1, 11 serving 10.
And para po sa mga first time manonood ng ating PVL, we only have a single round robin elimination format. Hindi ka na makakabawi dun sa mga teams na makakalaban mo na. So you have to leave it out all on the floor.
That's right. There's Bombita again. And I'm sure Musa and some of the blockers of Cignal thinking, what are we going to do? There's Dakis. And as a reminder to fans who don't know what the protocols are here in the Baccarat bubble, players can actually wear their masks while playing if they want to. But none of them so far are doing it, but they have to wear it when they're on the bench.
Mahirap din kasi talaga to play
with
your masks on.
Although I did see, as there's a point from Balipure, I did see, I think it was an FIVB game, sanctioned game. Some foreign players in a foreign match, they had their masks on and they were playing. So pretty impressed with the kind of stamina
That's correct.
Those ladies have. Here's a timeout. Coach Shaq, they're down by 3.
Awesome!
With the way Balipure's been holding on to a slim 3-point lead here in set number 3, would you say that the water defenders so far have something going here?
Yes, most of their points or attempts from the attack perspective are coming from Grace Bombita. But still, their other attackers are also contributing. So I wouldn't say na it's a one-woman show right now.
It's Kasugod right on cue. Biggest lead of the water defenders right now at 4 points, 14-10.
In every timeout, there's always that reminder that we just need to get one good pass to regain our momentum. And at this point, kailangan naka-adjust ka na sa blocking pag si Grace Bombita yung papalo.
That's true. Speaking of, here we go. Well, better dig there from May Luna. That results in a free ball. Kasugod, that's going to be 4 touches. Yeah, it didn't cross the net.
A younger Alina Bicar talking to the veteran in Jen Kasugod.
Well, Bicar is the team captain. And she has, obviously, on her shoulders responsibility of talking to these players.
Maganda din yun, no? Kahit na bata ka, you're very vocal when it comes to giving instructions to your attackers. Especially, ikaw yung setter. You control the tempo. You orchestrate the offense of
Yep.
your squad.
Good save there by Aguilar. Keep the ball alive for Cignal. Janela with the up, underhand set. Here comes Marciano with a tip, too high. Picked up by Angeles. Burn Flora. Blocked. What a save there by Baroga, but not good enough. Doria getting ready to serve. Cignal is still playing catch up here. Down by 3.
4 points. Medyo a quiet performance from Rose Doria. We used to see her churn in double digits.
Double digits for sure.
But with the faulty reception of Cignal, it's hard to give balls to the middle attackers.
She was a point shy of 10 in that loss versus Petrogas. Kasugod. A much better connection with Bicar. And the result is a 4-point advantage for the Water Defenders, 16-12 versus the HD Spikers. Beautiful Bangi Windmills in Ilocos Norte. Location for many a wedding shoot, even, vehicle beauty shots as well. These work as one of the sustainable energy sources of the area.
And I'm sure all of the travelers are very excited to put this on their bucket list,
Of
talking
course.
about the scenes in Ilocos Norte.
That's one of those photos you see shared on social media. If you're in that area, that's a go-to place for sure. Meantime, back inside the PCV Social Civic and Cultural Center in Bacara, Ilocos Norte. 4-point lead for the Water Defenders against the HD Spikers coming off the technical timeout. That clips the line, it seems. Marciano will score.
He's been trying to go for a couple of soft hits already, pero hindi gumagana eh. So you have to eventually go back to that power hit to at least try to challenge the system of Balipure.
Bicar connects with Salamagos, but Jonella was right there. May Luna puts a little bit of power in that and scores.
That has been the same spot for the open hitters of Cignal HD, going to that zone 1, proving to be really, really effective for May Luna.
I like how some players, they seem surprised that they actually scored when, we know how skilled and talented they are. But every now and then they sort of modestly appear like, did I score?
And all of the hitters that we have on the floor, hindi lang naman nila basta-basta pinapalo eh.
Yeah.
There's a certain angle that
That's
they
right.
choose, a certain level of power and force
That's right.
that they put into every shot.
It's never the same, too. I mean, there's so many adjustments these very talented players make. As Luna, back-to-back points for her.
That's the variation of May Luna. A while ago, she went for that zone 1 hit. But as she saw the established double block of Balipure, she went cross-court.
And just proving our point exactly, how talented and smart players these ladies are. Good block by Bicar. Aguilar with a free ball. Burn Flora. Aguilar once again. Alina Bicar taking matters into her own hands and gets a big help from the net.
Lucky shot from Alina Bicar. But good intention. Saved by the spin
And Balipure needed that. Cignal was mounting a run.
They've been having a hard time in communicating well, talking about the HD Spikers.
That time around, May Luna with a tip. And Balipure hesitated just a second, and it cost them.
Even if they got that point, you can clearly see na hindi naging masaya si Coach Shaq because it seems like they're very tentative right now. They're unsure of their movement, kung sino kukuha, sinong papalo, sino magsiset.
That's true. Bombita, block. Bombita will try again. Oh, this time it's way out.
And now here comes the Cignal HD Spikers with just 1 point.
Biggest lead was 4 points for Balipure, and it's almost gone at this point. Chance to tie for Musa and the HD Spikers. 1-2 play for Bikar. Gonna be an easy over for Luna. Bombita. Luna with the up. That's not coming back.
Now that she's in the front row, expect more sets to be given to Grace Bombita. Lalo na't patapos na tayo dito sa third set.
Yeah.
2% na si Alina Bikar. But from time to time, pwede yan magsundot ng set dyan sa middle hitters. Although Abil will see her first action.
Salamagos is out. Abil is in. Former UE Lady Red Warrior. Middle attack by Doria. Bombita. Oh, Jonella. Rare miscue for her. Well, what a save by Aguilar. That's 4 touches against Cignal.
You appreciate the hustle of Rap Aguilar. Kamunti ka nang lumabas yun sa bleachers. So it was unfortunate that they weren't able to put that over.
Cignal, a timeout as Abil looking pretty good here with the serve and the lead for the Water Defenders.
Ito lang pa paano na pala sa likod. Basic lang ginagawa nila.
3-point deficit against Cignal. Let's see if they can mount a comeback here. Aguilar. Bird Flora was right there. Bombita. Ito rin sinasabi mong porsentuhan, but the defense was prepared for a Bombita attack.
And dahil doon, ngayon naman, Balipure ang kailangan mag-adjust. They need to provide a couple of defenders sa likod para may support lang si Bombita.
Dakis, a timely return here in set number 3. Block points, both teams are tied at 2-all. Bombita again, through the block. Underhand set there by Estraniero. Free ball, Bikar goes back to Bombita. And another block on Grace Bombita. And Cignal is within 1.
Again, Balipure, walang coverage sa likod ni Bombita. And you don't want that because sometimes when the attacker keeps on getting blocked, nababawasan din yung confidence level eh. So paminsan, nag-iingat na sila.
Well, let's see if this timeout can fix the issues of Balipure, especially coverage when Bombita attacks, because like what you mentioned, porsyento na si Alina Bicar, so they're gonna go to Bombita majority of the time, and so there must be coverage behind the attack.
Nandyan din naman si Jen Kasugod. Alina Bicar can opt to give a quick set, but coming off a timeout, Ayel Estraniero commits that service error, not helping their cause.
And that definitely stops the momentum, which is the bigger issue at hand here for Cignal. Marciano is blocked, and that is a net touch against Dakis.
Back-to-back errors for the Cignal HD Spikers. One of that service error and another one of that net violation called on Rachel Andakis.
The team captain trying to push her teammates on, motivate them. And down the stretch, they're down by 3. 22 serving 19. Balipure in a good position once again late in the set. Oh, and it's good to be good. It's better to be lucky, as Alina Bicar with a service ace.
For sure, that's one of the main key points if they're going to bag this win today. Excellent serving so far for the Balipure Water Defenders.
What a dig from Angeles. That time around, Marciano.
It's not over until Balipure hits that 25th point.
All-important serve here for Cignal. They must stave off a point from Balipure. Good block against Bombita. Oh, very active. Doria in the middle. A block and then a kill.
Now that Doria is taking charge of their net defense, expect her to go all out in the next couple of sequences. A full front line for Ayel Estraniero. You have May Luna, you have Rose Doria, and you also have Janine Marciano that can provide the offense as they try to catch up dito sa 2-point lead ng Balipure.
Oh, but a solid block. Fortunately for Luna, that goes outside. So Cignal with 2 straight points, and Balipure's lead down to 1. Take another look here. Luna pouring it all, hitting the outer arm of Bombita to get the point. And the coach Abella will talk to the girls. Again, calls for 1 stop because that's all they need. Get themselves at set point here, and they're, just another great play away from getting a 2-1 lead against Cignal.
They're still up by 1 point and they have the advantage dahil sila nga yung unang aatake.
And Kasugod delivers. Much needed set point. Balipure now on the verge of getting a 2-1 advantage against Cignal.
Rosel Baliton is put in by their coach for blocking purposes. They're looking to end this one on the defensive side.
They get the block. Marciano saves it. Oh, but Cignal unable to keep it in play. Balipure gets the 2-1 advantage with a win here in set number 3. highlights of set number 3. As Bombita, Marciano, I mean, two of the players you mentioned earlier at the start of the coverage, Neil, ones with players to watch out for because of how active they are offensively. Rap Aguilar coming off the bench made a big contribution and a lot of energy into the gameplay of Cignal.
Starting out slow in that first set, they were able to steal the second and the third set over the Cignal HD Spikers. Towards that tail end of that set, Bombita was already checked by the blockers of the Cignal HD Spikers, but when they committed that service error, it was enough to secure that win for Balipure.
Well, Cignal never really got any sort of rhythm in the third set. And Coach Shaq, like what you mentioned, looking for chemistry in the third set, putting in Luna, putting in Aguilar, but it never really panned out.
In that second set, dikit naman. The attacks department, lamang lang ng isang Balipure. They edged out Cignal in the blocking by 1 also, and along with the service aces. Kaya naman, it was a better performance for both of these teams, but if Cignal wants to extend this to a 5th and final set, they really have to polish their service reception.
But you're glad if you're Balipure, if you're Coach John Abella, and you're looking at the statistics. Water defenders keep their unforced errors to a minimum, only 5. One of the keys to them really getting some sort of advantage in the third set.
Right now, Marciano is doing the heavy lifting with 12 points under her belt. Sumunod na si Doria at 6. Then, no surprise sa side ng Balipure, Bombita with 15 big points, followed by Kasugod with 10.
So at least 2 players in double digits for the Water Defenders, only 1 player in double digits for the HD Spikers. May Luna.
Now she's a starter once again. Dahil mainit-init pa itong si May Luna, she's been converting the sets given to her by Ayal Estraniero, a high percentage attacker. So they will stick with this lineup.
Picar. And a solid block by Doria on a taller Kasugod. And Cignal. Much better start here in the 4th set.
The good thing about volleyball is hindi naman yan natatapos sa 4 sets. If you can manage to carve out this 4th set, meron pa tayong isang lalaroin. More volleyball action for our volleyball fans.
Baroga, yes, gets the first point of Balipure in set number 4.
She doesn't get bulk of the sets, but pag nabigyan siya, she will convert.
Doria, very active here. 1 block point to start set number 4, and then she gets an attack point and a kill right here.
One of the veterans of the Cignal HD Spikers. Now they're up by 2 points.
Flora with a dig. Kasugod. Abriam. Oh. Bombita with a little bit of a push there. Ceballos. Kasugod. Baroga is blocked. Bicar goes to Flora. Blocked. Good defense here to start set number 4 for Cignal. Janela. Abriam is blocked. And that's a kill block for Kasugod.
Balipure just showing really, really tight floor defense as they ended that rally.
Chance to tie for the Water Defenders, 2 serving 3. Luna from the back row. Flora, yes!
It's their turn to maximize that zone 1 hit. Again, if you're an open spiker, you try your best to work around the block. Dahil dalawa lang naman yung options mo eh. Work around tough angles or challenge the block.
But Bern Flora looking to get active here in set number 4. Solid block. This time by Salamagos. Or no, maybe Baroga gets the credit. But Marciano is rejected right there. So Balipure 2 straight points. Put them up by 1, 4-3.
Well-rounded performance for Jen Kasugod. 11 points of 6 attacks and 5 blocks.
For all. Doria serving. Final game of our Sunday triple header. Earlier today, Creamline beating BLDT. First game today.
And Choco Mucho also spoiled the debut of our Perla Spikers.
That's right. Bern Flora with back-to-back points. And if Balipure wants a more comfortable third to make that fourth set, they really have to get Bern Flora going. She's one of those missing links offensively. She's contributed, don't get us wrong, but it's been very few and far between.
Yeah, Grace Bombita actually gets most of the sets. But in this fourth set, so far, Gaira Baroga has been leading the way for the Balipure purest water defenders. 8 points of 5 attacks, 1 block, and 2 service aces. Well-distributed production for the side of Balipure.
Oh, and another service ace.
Let's make that 3 service aces for Gaira Baroga. She will replace Jack Jonella as she's looking for 1 stop.
Yep. Another ace for Baroga. Can you believe it? Balipure from down 4-3. A 5-point run here to be up by 4 over Cignal in the fourth set. What's been the issues plaguing reception for Cignal so far, Neil? I mean, that's 3 straight aces for Baroga.
It's the same loopholes in the system of Cignal HD. Kahit dun sa past game nila, it's really the service reception na nagiging faulty. Gaira Baroga has been serving really well for Balipure. And it's hard to set up an offense kung you don't even manage to get the first ball.
First ball. You can't get to the setter.
Was that
Wow.
4 consecutive
Yep, 4
aces?
consecutive. Just wow. I mean, we usually see 2, maybe 3 straight aces and the team adjusts, the opposing team adjusts. Coach Sac de los Santos did, replacing liberos, replacing players, but so far nothing has worked.
And with 4 consecutive service aces, napakataas na ng confidence ni Gaira Baroga. And just as I say that,
Sumobrang taas.
she commits an error. Kasi kadalasan pag patagal ka ng patagal sa service line, palakas din ng palakas yung serve mo eh, to challenge the system of your opponent. But that was just too much.
Backfired that time around. Here comes Bern Flora. And Jonella unable to keep it alive as Balipure continues their offensive onslaught against Cignal here, up by 5 now.
someone really has to man that zone 1 on the court of Cignal HD. Flora has been exploiting that from the start of this fourth set. It's either you put a defensive specialist on that area or you close out the block on that certain angle.
Over receive. Bombita unable to put it away. 1-2 play. And Alina Bicar scores, making it a 6-point advantage for the Water defenders.
Don't look now, that's a 6-point lead for our Water defenders. Showing everybody that they are a force to be reckoned with in this open conference.
Huwag niyo ipilit yung gusto. Ang gusto niyo yung sinasabi natin. Kung ano yung sinabi niya, yun muna yung gagawin. Okay, lagi. Piguhin naman din eh. Ito kasi piguhin. Sineset pa lang. Saset pa lang siya nandun, ha?
Batayo! Number 6.
Still serving Flora.
Another player scoring in double digits, Bern Flora. 11 points, 8 attacks, and 3 aces. Another service ace
Wow.
for Balipure.
This is now becoming a major problem for Cignal, their receptions. Take a look at how good defensively Balipure is. I don't know if my math is pretty good, but it's 23 plus 23 Balipure in terms of digs, Neil.
That's correct. Even they have solid blocking, but pag nakalampas yung bola dun sa blockers ng Balipure, they still have that second line of defense talking about good diggers. You have Bern Flora, you have Angeles, their libero. Again, one of our underrated but a very, very steady libero for Balipure.
That's too close to the net. Fortunately for Balipure, Salamagos with a net violation.
This is Fiona Ceballos.
Bicar. Salamagos, that's picked up by Marciano. Here's a push, good coverage by Baroga. Here comes Bombita. Over received and outside as Balipure scores again.
There was no way na makakontrol yon ng Cignal HD. Hindi nahawakan ng blockers. It was a very, very clean hit.
And when you don't soften a Bombita attack, it's not gonna bounce off very well from whomever's digging it. Balipure in a very good position here and playing very well with a lot of confidence. There's Mayluna though. They're getting points, but it's few and far between. And they must get some stops and they must string some points together if they're gonna get back into this game.
And if ever man na manalo yung Balipure, this would be a statement win, taking down 2 of the household names.
That's true, back to back.
In the professional league, but it's not yet over till it's over.
Oh, but Bombita saying, watch out, Neil. Balipure, from their struggles, especially in the first set, they've really turned it around here and playing excellent volleyball on both ends. There's a tip with the left hand by Bombita. Jonella with the easy over. Oh, what a break for Cignal, and they needed that desperately.
That fault was recognized by the libero. When you are given a chance ball, kadalasan, the attackers would already go out to their positions to get that good approach on the attack.
And a smart play by Jonella, sending it right in front of the net. But still a long climb here if you're Cignal.
Clear double contact violation on Alina Bicar.
Cignal getting a tiny bit of help from these unforced errors, or from that unforced error. There haven't been many for Balipure in set number 4.
Estraniera has 20 excellent sets in this ball game. Siguro mas madami pa yan pag na-polish nila yung service reception nila in the next coming games.
That's true. She only had 15 in the 3-set loss against Petrogas. Good coverage by Flora. There's a block on Kasugod. Well, Flora will set it up. Here comes Bombita above the blockers. Jonella with the up. Back set, Marciano. Yes!
Now Marciano taking charge of the offense para dito sa Cignal HD. Great set by Estraniero.
Yeah, have to agree. Flora will get the second ball. It's going to be an easy over. Luna, block. There's a net. No, 4 touches. It didn't cross the net, according to first referee Mark Santos. 6-point lead, Balipure over Cignal, set number 4.
Magsipag pa tayo. Kung ano yung ginagawa, kulang na kulang pa sa
Let's go! Kapit, kapit!
Balipure sitting on a 6-point lead versus Cignal here, and much of this can be attributed to that stretch of Baroga at serve when she got at least 4 aces.
She's been performing really well for the Purest Water defenders.
There's an over receive. Kasugod is blocked by Doria. Baroga, yes, off the block.
Right on cue. High efficiency attacking and serving for Gaira Baroga in this match.
Oh, she really stepped up big here in set number 4.
And I feel like the difference of Balipure and Cignal in this match alone is the composure. Pag lamang yung isang koponan, mas nakakahabol yung Balipure with their steady floor defense and reception.
Overreach. Yep, that's an overreach. That's nothing going right for the HD Spikers right now. Their reception, Neil, is practically gone, which means they can't set up a good offense.
And Coach Shaq will burn another timeout as this lead has already ballooned to 8 points. Let's try to listen in.
Kasi ginagawa natin Pilipino. Maganda yun.
Well, let's see if that timeout will bring some positive things for Cignal, because they're in dire need of a good stop and a mini run at least.
It's the same points of the timeout. Isang reception. Sometimes you don't need a perfect receive already. Kailangan lang maitaas nyo to give allowance to Ayel Estraniero para makapag-set up ng play nyo. Because when you try so hard to get it in that perfect spot, uma-over eh.
Kasugod is blocked again. Doria has been doing a pretty good job checking her counterpart. And here's a mini break for Cignal as they get 2 easy points off errors on the part of Balipure.
If May Luna can score maybe 2 or 3 points off that service line, it would be a much closer game.
Good receive Kasugod. Estraniero was right there. Jonella sets it up. Free ball from Marciano. Bicar goes to Bern Flora, who's blocked. Bicar keeps it alive. Saved by Jonella. Ceballos. Jonella once again to the rescue. Marciano. Two players collide for Balipure. Here comes Bern Flora. Estraniero with the up. Luna will set it. Marciano with another easy over. Long rally here. Bicar. Kasugod. Yes!
She's been blocked a couple of times with that cross-court angle, but this time, she makes sure she got that point for Balipure. They're just 6 points away from getting their second win in our Open Conference.
And the longer the rally goes, Neil, it showcases how tenacious Balipure is. I mean, the harder, these rallies become, it seems like the better Balipure plays.
And even if Cignal is down by 7 points, you can see the hustle na talagang binibigay nila lahat ng effort nila, trying to save as many balls as they can.
Bern Flora. Luna with the up. Estraniero to Aguilar. That's outside. And Balipure seems to be on the way now, up by 8 points. As Cignal can't get any sort of momentum going late in this set 4.
Again, both of these teams, for me at least personally, they are evenly matched. Skill set-wise, kalamangan ng Cignal, they have more experience. But maybe the young blood in Balipure is just very eager to win more games in this conference so far.
Doria with the error. The lead is 9 now. Marciano. Oh, one of the rare occasions in set number 4, Neil, when the defense of Balipure was caught napping.
It wasn't necessarily a wrong call on the blockers dahil medyo malayo na sa net, but they weren't able to set up yung defense nila sa likod. And right now, Janine Marciano will try to score more points in the front line. It's an 8-point lead. And they can still catch up.
And that's one way of doing it.
Again, Marciano just taking charge from offense to defense. Again, there's no safe lead.
And that's exactly what Cignal is showing us right now. Oh, Salamagos unable to connect with Bicar.
They tried to go for that B quick. Kadalasan kasi kanina puro A quick lang eh. But miscue on that set.
Huge advantage in terms of attack points for Balipure by 10. 47-37. Water defenders struggling a little bit in the last few plays. Marciano, block, Flora with the up, and Salamagos unable to get it across the net. And their lead cut down to just 5 after leading by as many as 9.
Girls, last 4 points tayo. Let's go back to enjoying the game. Diba? Smile tayo, isa-isa tayo. Kaya yan.
Here's the Salamagos error. And she knew it as soon as it left her hands. Doria, perfect picture of calm right now. 16 serving 21. 4 straight points for Cignal. Flora. Aguilar. Flora was right there. Baroga. Marciano. Check ball. And the run continues for the HD Spikers.
It's been all Janine Marciano in the past few sequences for Cignal HD. And Balipure just needs one stop or one good receive para makaikot sila. Right now, Bombita is in the back row if I'm not mistaken. If you can get her in that best rotation in the front line, that would be best for Balipure.
Flora. Doria was right there. Here comes Aguilar. Block. Back set for Marciano, and Marciano continues to pound it against Balipure, and that 9-point lead down to 3.
4 or 5 consecutive points from Janine Marciano as she cuts the lead by 3 points.
Doria continues to serve consistently. Burn Flora. Yes! And Balipure needed that. The lead is a much better 4 points right now for the water defenders.
Another substitution for Balipure. Rosel Baliton providing the height for Balipure, and Lai Bendong will be orchestrating the offense of the water defenders.
What a save there from Sati Espiritu. Here comes Cignal. A push by Marciano, and it pays off. Cignal still in it, only down by 3.
Don't look now. Janine Marciano will be moving to the back row in this fourth set. Balipure naman ang mas maraming unforced errors with 8 compared to the 4 of Cignal HD.
Oh, hesitant. Bombita right there results in a free ball. Here's Aguilar. Hernandez with the pickup. Burn Flora. Back to that same spot where she scored in set number 1 on a similar play.
Another ad-lib from Burn Flora. Practically a chance ball for Cignal HD. Wala lang sa posisyon si Raprap Aguilar.
Quietly, 13 points for Burn Flora. Aguilar. One-handed dig. Almost a good save for Hernandez. And Aguilar will score. Balipure not out of the woods yet. The Cignal mounting a comeback here. They need 3 to tie. Hernandez. Oh, big break here for Cignal. They get a free ball. They go back row to Marciano, and it pays off. Marciano continues to score.
Even in the back row, Marciano continues to deal damage doon sa depensa ng Balipure. They're down by 2 points, and Balipure is only 2 points also away from bagging their second win. Matetest ulit ang composure ng water defenders.
Off the bench, 3 points off 3 attacks for Raprap Aguilar. Oh, yes! Cignal now within 1 after being down by as many as 9 points. They fought back. Now Balipure will call a timeout. Let's try and listen in. Heard the calm voice of Grace Bombita. Kunin na natin. Dalawa lang. Kind of pleading, asking, imploring her teamates.
You don't want to give the fourth set sa Cignal because if they enter the fifth set with much momentum, that will definitely be problematic on your part.
Janela has been superb defensively for Cignal. Bombita, yes! And that is match point for Balipure. 24-22.
Full power on that open hit, courtesy of Grace Bombita. Balipure can finish this with a defensive block, if they can.
They don't have to. No offense mounted from Cignal. Asati Espiritu gets the win via a service ace.
Balipure will continue to impress our volleyball fans as they go up 2-1 in our leaderboard in our single round robin elimination format.
Back-to-back wins for the Water Defenders, beating the Cherry Tigo crossovers, and then the Cignal HD Spikers. Meanwhile, Cignal, they dropped their last two games against Petrogas and against Balipure. After a slow start for Balipure, losing 25-21, they rattle off 3 straight sets in very dominant fashion, especially in the fourth set where they led by as many as 9 points en route to a 4-set win versus Cignal. Neil?
All throughout the game, Balipure continued to attack the service reception of Cignal HD, and they clearly did their homework. They watched the past games of the Cignal HD Spikers. That's why they managed to carve out a win, a second win in this open conference.
And that big push that Balipure needed in set number 4 came from this girl. That's why she is our best player of the game. Gaira Baroga with 5 service aces to give the Balipure Water Defenders a big push in the fourth set.
That was really a crucial performance on the side of Gaira Baroga, especially that 5 service aces in that fourth set, which gave them the much-needed lead to close out this game.
So congratulations to Balipure, back-to-back wins. They go up 2-1 in the standings. Meanwhile, Cignal HD will fall down to 1-3 in the Open Conference. Catch us tomorrow as we give you coverage of the Open Conference from Ilocos Norte, starting at 3 p.m. Perla Spikers, they go up against the Cherry Tigo crossovers after debuting today. And Cherry Tigo crossovers looking to bounce back after losing to Balipure in their previous game. In the second game tomorrow, Santa Lucia Lady Realtors taking on the Black Mamba Army Lady Troopers. Thank you to our director, Raul De Ocampo, executive producer, Malu Neri. For Neil Flores, I'm Eric Tepan. Thanks for watching. Balipure with a big win, 4 sets against Cignal. Thanks for watching the Open Conference of the Premier Volleyball League right here on One Sports.